The young rat folk crouches amidst the compacted tangle of metal debris, ignoring the increasingly annoyed inflection in the echo of his name from further behind in the tunnel. He begins quickly pulling away the rusted sheet of metal that he had embedded in the wall of junk days ago, carefully working out the corners of his near-seamless hide. Fof hears a crash, followed by a plinking avalanche of small metallic bits, the sound jumbled with growl curses.
Codgin, garbage, waste of time, mothering me.
Finally, a second ratfolk scrambles over a bank of earth, studded with prongs of some green oxidized substance.
I told you, Fof, there ain't nothing down in these tunnels but picked over trash and a dead end. This is a waste of time.
He looks at his paw.
And a fine way to get cut and find yourself rust sick.
He misses a foothold near the end of his descent and slips, but manages to break the fall with a rough cartwheeling motion.
It's called tetanus.
The other rat snarks under his breath.
Try reading the book.
Brixby stands and straightens himself up.
What did you just say to me?
Fof quickly replies.
I said, there it is. Come have a look.
The stockier ratfolk shuffles to the side, giving his brother a better view, gesturing into the small depression he just revealed.
Right in there, past the tubes.
Brixby squints and leans forward. He places his maimed paw on his brother's shoulder for balance, his eyes catching the slightest twin glints of a reflection in the center of a battered silvery oval.
I suppose it looks a bit like a face, I guess.
Fof turns to him and says,
It's one of the old machines, buried in here. It doesn't look like a gearsman, but I think it's some sort of robot. See further down, I believe this wiring is part of it.
He points a thick finger at a brittle brassy knot before reaching towards it, shouldering forward again. Brixby gently rocks backwards onto his haunches and settles on the earthen floor.
Not to baffle your great plan, Fof, but I can't exactly see Two-Tooth clearing dear old Dad's debts over a bit of a metal man stuck in a wall.
Fof reaches into his belt pocket, blindly rummaging before fishing out a small gleaming metal coil. He replies, his head still in the hole.
We may be able to turn it on, and then, I don't know. Come, I need your help with the fiddly bits anyway. Place this here. Just give it.
Brixby takes the wire from his brother, reaching in as his deft fingers unspool the pliable material. He begins wrapping it around the corroded terminal that Fof had pointed out. Shaking his head, he starts,
There's no way that...
Before the stray end of the wire catches and accidentally makes contact with a small burnished plate on the opposite side. The ratfolk seizes. A jolt causing a hard contraction of his muscles makes him appear almost statue-like, frozen in his pain. Fof turns in alarm, moving to pull his brother away, and then there's a shrieking groan of metal, and with a shuddering crash, both boys are knocked backwards. The wall in front of them undulates once before ambuscating forward, engulfing them under the crushing weight of the ancient machine's writhing spasms. Lungs deflated, dizzying darkness begins to creep from the corners of Fof's vision as he feels his body begin to yield under the immense pressure. He has no idea where his brother is. There is a metallic flexing before the sound of a huge crack and an awful feeling of release that he could only be sure was the weightlessness of death. And then he felt his body roll and realized that he was falling, pitching ever faster into the black. This is Pod Against the Machine.
Pod Against the Machine.
Welcome back to Pod Against the Machine, the actual play podcast where the thickness of the Pepto-Bismol is only matched by the thickness of the borscht. I'm your host, and here is everyone.
Hello.
We're a really viscous podcast, America's most viscous podcast.
It's like my least favorite texture word. And we really lock on to all of those things that physically gross me out. And it's so fun, everyone. I really appreciate being here and part of this team and discussing all manner of smooth things.
See, I like the juxtaposition that you're totally fine with the large amounts of body horror that have gone on in the podcast so far. But those liquids are just so thick.
Okay, but are they liquids, though? They're like
Yes.
creams.
They're Thiccuids.
Hello. Ooh, I like that.
I had completely forgotten about the borscht, and I was happy with that.
No, it's just a wet beat. Oh, the viscous, capable for.
Oh my god, no, please no.
Viscous creamy pour.
Stick a spoon in us. And that's the end of the episode.
And
to
the
bed.
podcast.
Yeah, I'm out.
Well, last week our heroes, after some debate, stuffed the would-be corpse of Garmin Ulrith that won't stay down in the bag of holding, and set off on a long, long ride to Aldrinard's grave. They got there as the sun was just dipping below the horizon and things were starting to get dark, and found stuff just wasn't right. The guards up on the tower said that the fort had been infected with plague and everybody should just leave, but they were pretty bad at lying, and the very capable four could see that the courtyard inside the keep was just totally smashed and torn apart. So, sense motive check here, an initiative roll there, turned into a massive gunfight that nobody expected. Asher jumped up a wall. Brixby knocked out 3 combatants with a non-lethal save or suck spell, and it just generally went pretty well for the very capable four, other than that gun crit that almost killed Brixby. Maybe next time. And that's where we find ourselves now. There are several unconscious gunslingers with no lips, incidentally, and one dead axeman with no lips also. And, night has fallen, and you've got a fort. What's up?
I guess this is Kingmaker now. So good.
Heal check. I have a +0, so it's just going to be underwhelming. But wanted to do a heal to see, if possible, what's going on with the whole lip situation.
All right.
Just as a reminder, these 3 people will wake up. Well, they'll wake up and be blind for a little bit, and then regular wake up.
It could only get 1 point less whelming, because it's a total of a 2. Maybe their lips are just really small and we can't see them.
Well, maybe they ate something really hot. Just too hot.
This guy doesn't bleed out. I know you said he went under and he was unconscious and dying. If he stabilizes, Vargas will... Well, I guess whether he stabilizes or not, Vargas will drag him downstairs to the rest of them. And if he does
Bouncing
stabilize,
along the stairs.
he'll let Hira tie him up.
Yeah, I think we should gather whatever remains of their forces and restrain them together. Seems like it's going to be another night of watching, keeping vigil on enemies in our own camp.
Brixby also looks super wounded. And is just going to give a little, sad, the end of that.
Yeah. Well, while Vargas goes to get the corpse of, the not quite corpse, body, we'll go with body, still alive, of Purple. Do you think he would have picked up the gun on the ground that he dropped, or should I plan to go back for that?
Yeah, he'll bring everything down.
Dope, thanks. Then, while he's doing that, Asher can walk over and throw some boops from the old boop stick on Brixby. Well, Asher says, eyeing the well-known bullet wound at this point. I do so hate to see these weapons used against us. And he'll throw out some D8 +1s. You took 20?
Yes.
Was that it? Was that the only hit you took, though?
Yeah, that's the only hit I took.
The only hit that like nearly murders you.
Just the
Yeah,
one.
just one.
Just one.
A mere scratch.
6 on the first boop.
Woo.
5 on the second. Ooh, and 9 on the last one, Max.
Ooh, yeah, that brings me all the way back up to 20, exactly.
Did anyone else take any damage?
Fine. Although I feel like we've said that before. Kira will circle back around, but also, can we percept anyone around? Hear, see, smell?
Yeah, if you want to roll perception. I will say that the guns that these rather grisly, smiling fellows were wielding look like they've basically been homemade, kind of cobbled together pieces of high-tech weaponry, like a pipe from something that's not a gun, bits of junk, everything welded together. And these are the gunslinger's battered firearm, which I believe Asher may be familiar with. In the hands of anyone but the people who made them, they are considered broken, and they can only be sold for scrap.
Were repaired for the cost of...
No, I don't think the gunslinger's starting firearm can be effectively repaired by anyone but the... Like, it's a weird special item because it's a class feature.
Interesting.
Yeah, it does... I'm sorry, I was saying, yeah, it looks like you can only restore and repair your own. That's a bummer.
Yeah, they're a weird thing.
Brixby will feel around what I assume to be probably like a chest shot at that for like well over half his health. Feeling now the skin, but no fur at that point.
Thank you, Asher. I prefer to be behind you when one of these is in operation. Now understand what it's like to be on the business side a bit. Oh, yep.
And also just kind of looks serious for a moment.
I am quite glad you were able to get in here. I was worried when the wall came down. I was stronger together, all 4 of us.
Yes, I suppose it was best that it was me out there and not any of the rest of us, but at the same time, it could have gone really poorly. The 2 on the tower could have taken their time just raining bullets down upon me. I'm glad I was able to crest this building and join the fight. Although it seems like your arcane prowess was essential in the fight going as well as it did.
Well, I've never successfully done this. You might remember I painted the inside of Garmin's warehouse a couple different colors, but never managed to make a mark on the man himself.
Looks uncomfortably at the sack at this point, wondering what is even going on in there. And then back to the rest of the group.
Should we wake one of them up and try to get information? Should we start to survey the fort ourselves?
Do we think anyone else is here?
They might have come out at the sound. This was not a quiet battle by any means. However, they don't seem...
He looks down at the like horrific, disfigured visage of these creatures on the ground, people on the ground.
They don't seem to operate with normal, rational thinking, should I say. So they might be hiding in the shadows. Let's just not let our guard down too quickly.
Mechanically, let's not put our weapons away or anything.
I wonder, if these are the Crusaders, then something has turned them insane and perhaps shrunk their lips to very small sizes. But if these are not the Crusaders and someone masquerading simply in their armor, it could be that the true Crusaders are here somewhere restrained and unable to, join the fight.
We should look for more people. And, I don't think these guys will be moving anywhere, but they might wake up soon.
Yeah, so once they're done, as Brix is explaining, with the whole blinded and unconscious and stunned thing, they're just stunned and blinded, and then they're just stunned. Their eyes will be open, but they won't be able to do much. That said, let's maybe take everything away from them, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do believe that if I spend some time, once a day, I can repair one of these firearms, restoring it from the broken condition, per the rules of the game. So if we hold on to them, it'll take a few days, but I may be able to make them usable again. They should certainly stock up on all their ammo.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, denial to the enemy is just as sweet as knowing that you're going to have half a dozen of these handbangers.
God, that guy looks like a straight up out of Arkham Asylum. Like
Quite
Batman.
terrifying. Yeah. I do not care
He
for
really does look like, I mentioned last episode, Conrad Veidt in Man Who Laughed. You can see if I can grab a picture of that.
He's just got a plague.
Yeah. Plague of the Smiles.
lipless gun plagues.
Well, I don't know. Would it be a separate heal check since I was looking at lips to see if there's plague on them?
So from this courtyard, which is strewn with broken down like tents and carts and boxes and things, you can see that there's the doors to the 2 guard towers that flank the gate. You've already been through both of those towers. There's a door off to the west, kind of southwest, attached to like the largest kind of watchtower. And there's a door directly to the south, kind of a double door attached to some large building. 2 doors that open to another building off to the southeast. And then it looks like what used to be like a castle keep to the northeast, but it's kind of a crumpled, burnt out husk. Like there was a bad fire there.
So I think systematically we are unarming, restraining, and then do we want to leave some people with them? Do we all want to go after we've done that?
I mean, if they're restrained, it should be good, especially if Kira does it with her strength and them not able to fight back because they're unconscious. Like, they shouldn't be able to break out of what she can tie them up with.
Could we tie them to what looks like columns or posts in this burned out section?
Yeah.
That way they're not able to just kind of like kick themselves up and hobble out all hogtied.
Yeah, if you want to bring them over there, it's an outer stone shell of what was an old castle keep, but the wooden interior is gone. Everything in here is effectively difficult terrain. There is a smoldering campfire in the middle of the area, sort of back amongst the ruins, and there's a spit over it with long strips of flesh cooking over the charcoal.
Well, I'm certain that is grass-fed beef. Going to ignore that spit for now and just kind of knowledge engineering on the area in general. And, because if it's in this condition and somebody could conceivably just rip themselves free of the column, then it would kind of defeat the purpose. Someday in this book, I will roll double digits in a knowledge. 14 total.
With a 14, I'd say seems solid enough. Well, obviously, it's seen better days, but stone is stone, it doesn't burn.
The bottom drops out.
Just took a quick peek in the old loot channel, and I wanted to throw this 4 for my knowledge engineering to see if I could determine what those grenades are with a 15.
Let's see. Yeah, if you picked through their gear, you did find on the boss guy a couple of grenades. And 15, I would say, is enough to identify. These are gas grenades, the small cylindrical devices designed to be thrown as splash weapons or fired from a grenade launcher. It must be primed with a quick twist of a dial at one end and then armed with a click of a button. They detonate at the beginning of your next turn. This particular grenade, when it explodes, it creates a 20-foot spread of foul-smelling toxic gas, and everyone in the area must succeed at a save or be nauseated.
Oh, so it's like a stinking cloud.
Yeah. Stink bombs.
Turn back to Asher when they're, I guess, moving them over, and it's just like,
Seems like there's a mess of bullets in here and a few more of those grenades that we have you holding. I don't know if you want to add a couple more to your belt. Seem the best suited for these.
I'd be happy to hold on to them.
Yeah, the rest of that loot there is 5 masterwork leather armors, 5 bucklers, 5 daggers, 5 of those gunslinger pistols, 32 bullets, almost as many as bricks can make with one spell. 2 of those grenades, 6 doses of that thick Pepto paste, 1 masterwork hide armor, and 2 masterwork hand axes.
Now, Question about those. Is one of them the one that's attached to that dude's hand?
Yeah, but it was like a jury-rigged kind of harness thing attached to a stump
Hack that off.
where it appeared that like his hand was amputated.
I was about to say, which one of us cut that off him?
Yeah, I'd love the I mean, it's really gruesome, but if the haft was like part radius or something like that, it's just fused to it.
Well, I was imagining like X-Hand Morgan from One Piece, which I'm probably the only one on the pod who knows who that is.
I know it's an anime, but I don't know a whole lot about anime.
I've heard of that one. It's about pirates, maybe?
It's also the best-selling comic book of all time from any country.
It's got to be like a bajillion episodes, right?
Show is almost at 1,000 episodes.
So this fire is still going. Do we see any other remnants of camping stuff around here? Bedrolls? Anything else? Does it seem like they're set up in this area?
Yeah, it looks like these guys have set up off for the night over amongst these ruins here.
Well, it seems like a waste to let this camping spot just go unoccupied. Maybe after we clear this out, we could come here, settle down for the night. Maybe throw whatever's off the spit off to the side. Pierce a couple goo tubes, you know. I do like the seasonal flavor of pumpkin spice abandonment.
We have rations. I'll share.
Yeah,
I actually only have 1 day's worth of rations left.
nothing feels like nutmeg and a loving partner leaving your life like this goo tube. Team Slurp.
Why would I want a dry ration when I can have the thick, viscous, refreshingly warm flavor of a goo tube?
I would just like to say for listeners, I nauseated my entire family with this whole explanation last night. And everyone is aghast at the idea of hot yogurt. Yes, hot, because I refuse to say warm yogurt. That's gross.
No, it's true. I mean, they have non-dairy flavors. I would describe it like hot, greased applesauce. But it's great. Yeah.
Little bits of peel.
Just ever so slightly chunky.
I'd like to give a shout out to all of our listeners who are eating right now.
We're eating.
Where find the pulpiest orange juice you can imagine and just kind of
Boil it down.
keep it on low on the stove.
Oh my God.
Maybe add some cornstarch.
Oops, all pulp.
Cornstarch is perhaps one of the worst powders made to me. It's the worst. It does nothing but make everything bad. I'm so sorry to come in so aggressively with these views on cornstarch.
Makes strong non-Newtonian fluids, though. And if you want to do some wacky science, can't be beat.
I went to a thing where you ran across a kiddie pool with cornstarch in it. It was pretty cool.
The cornstarch has one use. You're right. I apologize.
So Brix finishes the finer points on non-Newtonian fluids as he is, the hot greased applesauce, I believe I said, and the pumpkin spice abandonment are getting crispy. So we all eat a bit before maybe checking to see if there's anybody else inside this godforsaken place.
And I think Vargas would ask Brix to hit him with a dose or two of the healing gun.
Oh, yeah.
He may be at 12 out of 35 hit points right now.
Remember that I have the wacky gun, and that I believe Asher has the good gun.
Has the one that works. Yeah, he doesn't want that one. He wants the wacky one.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, the doctor is in every sense of the term here, right? Yeah. Excellent.
So, do you want the D100 rolls first, Sam?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, we got a 29 and a 46 there.
Okay. Well,
Those are bad. Okay, so not too bad. Minimum value for the healing, basically. Just 2 points.
All right.
Makes a little boom noise.
You want to try again?
And he kind of looks at where you injected him, and he looks around like he's expecting to see something, and he didn't. He goes, yes, it didn't heal very much. Can you please do it again?
Yeah, never as the magic as first time, eh? Yeah.
Oh, that's It's definitely not it. Right
That's probably very bad.
That's a 28 and a 33. We are not coming in very hot on this episode.
Just 3d12 con damage.
Well, the better of the two is just basically no effect. It's a spoiled dose.
Right. So, there's nothing there.
Shakes it a bit. Looks at the
Are you sure this is working?
Yeah, I think there's only a couple more in this cartridge anyway. One more time here. We might have to call in the big guns.
As he points over towards Asher. Whoa, Daddy. That's a 100.
That's got to be a good one.
Wow. That is 2d8 plus 2, and re-roll any results of 1.
Nice.
All right, that's 10 points.
I am currently at 24 out of 35.
So I do have all of my lay on hands left, all 4. One I'm saving. Asher's hoping to find the rightful inhabitants and have some healing to go around there. But if we don't find them before we go to bed, I'm not just going to sit on 4 lay on hands. He's down 6, and Vargas is down some. Kira's still down some.
Yeah, I'm down 11 still.
So just throw Brixby into whatever room we find. Just open the door, toss me in. We'll see how
Get
it
on
goes.
in there, Brix.
But no, Jeff brings up a really good point, is that like we have a necessary level of reconnaissance that we need to get done before we go to bed, and we can handle all of our healing men. Assumedly, we'll hopefully not get embroiled in any other large gunfights.
Yeah, I'm high enough now that I'm comfortable getting into a fight again if we have to.
You aren't high enough to be comfortable.
He just like looks and strokes the gun a bit before putting it back. Distantly, some riffs from the Doors play.
Did we bring Kira's horse over here?
It sits in the pile of dead bodies.
No, I dragged it by accident, and then I couldn't get rid of
What
it.
do you think's gone on the spit?
Fire Day is still outside, but at least during the combat, the thought of opening the portcullis and letting an escape route be around for them wasn't something I wanted to do. So I've left the portcullis down until we've kind of cleared the place and decide what we want to do.
It's a trained horse. It shouldn't wander off.
Fire Day's halfway back to Torch by now.
No. I wrote it on Fire Day. I'm going to write out on Fire Day.
Where do we want to go? Do we want to go, is it Wittershins? Do we want to go counterclockwise? We go clockwise? How do we want to do this?
Clockwise.
So, leaving Nathan and Fire Day, and what are the other 2 horses' names?
Strata and...
Yeah.
And then, all right. So our squad of super horses I would imagine, are all just kind of around the gang of people that are all tied up together, Scooby-Doo villain style.
One would say they're horsing around. No?
One would not say that.
So I guess we're gonna just go up to the door, check it out. Does it look locked? Feel locked.
Doesn't look locked, but it does feel locked.
All right. Brixby will first check to see if it's trapped. 10 on the die, that's a 19. It'd be a 20 if it's high-tech or mechanical.
That doesn't appear to be trapped.
All right, pulling out his masterwork thieves' tools. He will be rolling 1d20 plus 12 on this. With a 14, that's a 26 to open the door.
And that pops the lock. So you're free to open the door.
So Brixby will open the door and step to the southeast. Actually, you know what? He'll just step in. You know what? He's the most healed. Why not? Let's have fun. Brixby goes right through that door.
Pretty sure your most healed is still lower than my not most healed, but you know what? We'll trust it. And also just push in right behind you.
Stepping through the door, you come into a small stone room. There's another door opposite, and it looks like you are in the sort of entrance hall to a chapel of some kind. There's a set of double doors on the southeast side that hang slightly ajar on broken hinges, and a person-sized dust-caked stone statue of Sarenrae standing in the alcove on the northwest side.
Interesting. Did we know this was a temple to Serenre when we started? We knew it was like a garrison.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Crusader garrison, and they're often dedicated to Serenre, Iomade,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Desna.
Cool. Then I guess I'll check the double doors opposite of this, unless anybody wanted to do anything devout, religious, or caring with the statue.
No, Asher will just tip his hat respectfully at the statue.
And Bricks will examine this door.
The door doesn't look like it could be locked even if you tried. It's broken off its hinges and it's kind of hanging. It'll give with a quick shove.
He'll just take out the Masterworks Thieves' tools and then just kind of push it over with the tools. Just
All right, yeah, I think it's unlocked.
And as the door creaks as you push it open, you almost hear this a sort of sound like crying. It sounds like there's a man crying, but you open the door and you don't see anything at all.
Friends, I think someone might be hurting here.
In this room, as you open up, it is indeed a chapel, but the roof is caved in places, and there's piles of rubble all along the walls that look like you'd have to sort of climb over them. It's an old ruined chapel to Serenre that looks like it's been abandoned for years and years now, and there's this sense as you step in here that someone's watching you.
Would a 14 perception be able to kind of pinpoint any better where that sound is coming from, the crying? Like what part of the room?
It's almost like it's all around you. It's just like...
The 60-foot cone of detect evil, just kind of washing it around the room in all directions. Any auras?
No aura of evil.
I think Kira is going to move closer to the center of the room, just looking for... I mean, we've established there's nothing there, but she'll looking. Hello? Is everyone okay? We're helping. Hi, I'm Kira. Just as for good measure.
And as you call out from the center of the room, you just hear back as the sobbing builds up to a crescendo, and it's just the most painful, mournful, wailing sound of despair. Just like... And I need will saves from everyone.
Oh no. Is this a spell or spell-like ability?
It is not.
Is it a fear-based something?
It is indeed fear-based.
I think we might be fighting a haunt.
Trying to find my DC.
This feels
here.
very haunty.
Where's my DC? Okay, so what did Brixby get?
Brixby rolled a 14 for an 18.
That's a fail. How about Vargas?
Whoa.
Vargas got a 17.
That's also a fail. How about Kira?
What, 17 on the die plus 4 plus 1 for my surprise dagger thing I brought with me from Parta, which I would have more words on if I wasn't concerned about everyone else dying. So it's a will save fear-based something sky metal. I'm gonna put in the real words here. 23, Sam. 23.
All right, 23. That's a pass. And how about Asher?
I'm hoping it's a bell curve where a low or a high number passes. Because consistently rolling hot garbage for a total of a 9.
So that's a fail. So let's start with a roll for initiative, why don't we? I'm just going to roll a little bit of initiative here. And how about Kira?
18 on the die for a 23.
Nice. And Asher?
A dirty 20. I found double digits, Sam.
Nice. And Vargas?
Vargas got a 19.
Wow. Everybody's feeling fast. And Brixby?
Brixby also got a 19 with a +3 as my init modifier.
What's Vargas's init modifier?
Vargas is a +2.
So Brixby ahead. Okay, so now that we've solved that, and a ghostly figure appears before you, hanging in the air. I'm going to just pop a little picture of him up on the screen. It looks like
It's Thor.
a human man, a little bit on the older side, but he's whited out and translucent. He's wearing Crusader armor. He's got the full helmet of a Crusader of Sarenrae, and he's wearing like a robe, like he is. He's dressed like a paladin, but obviously he looks a little bit like a ghost there. Now, there was the matter of that whale. A couple people failed that save, and those people who failed that save are frightened. Just 2 rounds.
Let's talk about frightened, Sam, on this escalation of shaken and frightened and panicked and whatnot. What do us, 3 out of 4 frightened brave heroes, do?
Well, you're not panicked, so that's good. But frightened creatures flee from the source of their fear as best they can. If unable to flee, they will fight. Effectively, the thing that matters right now is that for the next 2 turns, you get a -2 on all attack rolls, saving throws, skill checks, and you have to run away from the ghostly figure in this room as fast as you can.
At the maximum speed that you can do.
Yeah. No big, no big.
Which means it'll take us twice as long to get back.
Remember when Kira was like, I'm fine? Now she's the only one not running away.
So Kira's turn is first.
Okay, it looks scary, but is it threatening us? Aside from everyone's frightened, but like, she wouldn't know that yet, would she? If no one is running away? Unless they've all announced, I'm frightened.
She probably wouldn't really know that it's done anything aggressive. You know, it hasn't moved to attack. It doesn't have a weapon out. It's just a weird floating ghostly thing.
God, is she gonna try? I feel like she's just gonna try and communicate with it and be like, hey, are you okay? Have you ever seen a ghost before? I don't think she's probably never seen a ghost thing before. So, she will draw, or I guess she still has her sword out because of that's prepared. She'll move over slightly, just and instinctually kind of putting herself between this thing and her friends. And talk to it. Hey, are you crying? Are you hurt? What's wrong? Oh, this is such a bad idea. Oh, Kira. Oh, no.
You got this. Tenderness wins.
We'll see. It worked. It worked in that one, in our practice game. Right there. Roll to comfort.
If you want to roll diplomacy.
I do.
What's your craft pottery looking like?
I mean, I couldn't tell you, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist. I'm going to roll a, let's see, diplomacy. Let's say a 2. That feels right. Okay, so if we go pretend it's 2, that's going to be a 16 to gently comfort this ghost thing. I'm sorry if you're sad. We just want to help. I am Kira.
And the ghostly guy floats right up in your face, and he says,
It was for you that I came north, Sarenrae. Why couldn't you protect Justinia? Why did you send me away from her?
and that's it. And we're on to Asher's turn. Now, Asher is a little bit scared right now.
Yeah, that's a big bummer. But Asher, as has been discussed previously as a positive thing, now faces the repercussions of not having Aura of Courage and not being immune to fear, and thus will flee out of the doors of this chapel. And just as he's frightened, Kira, save yourself! And will flee back out of the room, his full complement of his movement. It does say, at least what I was looking at, that once you can no longer perceive any source of fear, you can act as normal. Does that mean that I only have to do a single move since I can get out of the building and then just kind of take deep breaths?
Yeah, probably, since you can get out.
Yeah, he will do that, and although he is frightened, I think I should be able to do still a knowledge religion on this little ghosty ghost.
Sure, why not?
Well, I did ask for double digits, so 11 plus 5 for a 16.
Well, 16 is the absolute bare minimum to tell you that you're looking at a ghost.
It is a ghost. Caldera, protect me.
Is that it for Asher?
Yeah, I think since he's not panicked, he's just kind of staying there, out where it's safe, and if the fear-causing source moves closer, he'll run farther.
All right. And that takes us to Brixby.
I was planning on just zoinking, because that's a ghost, Sam. But I'm also going to throw knowledge religion at that bad boy.
Yeah, we're just zooming out of there with the Hanna-Barbera noise.
Oh, worst. Rolled a 3. So looking over his rat shoulder as he just is crying and peeing himself as he leaves the chapel. He really just can't get over it. And throws a 12 for his knowledge religion.
Yeah, could be anything.
But he goes and joins Asher outside with that, like...
Yeah, just really needed some air. It was very intense in there. Totally a brave thing that you and I just did.
I ran in fear. But I applaud your bravery.
Yeah, that's going to be my turn. I have nothing to do once I'm outside.
All right, and Vargas.
Okay, so first things first. That is an 18 religion. That can be anything Jeff's didn't.
18 is not enough to get you anything useful. I mean, it's a ghost of a human. Looks like a paladin, but
It's a ghost, yeah. Okay, so then his feet turn into cartoon blurred circles, and he shoots out of the room to that like Hanna-Barbera sound of like running, and winds up behind these guys.
And now we're on Kira, who is all alone in this ruined, crumbled statue. All of your friends just took off, probably screaming, crying. There's trails of urine just all over the floor, and it's just
Urine everywhere.
and I think that Vargas actually tried to shove you into the ghost as he was going. It was
Yeah.
oh, it was
Take
bad.
her instead.
I mean, Asher did yell, Kira, save yourself.
Run away.
Save yourself, but just a little slower than I saved myself.
Okay, let's see. So, I mean, Kira's just seen all of her new friends run away in fear. She is concerned. Perhaps not willing to turn her back on this thing that potentially just frightened all of her friends. But I don't know. Can I want to like back up to the door and be like, hey, are you guys okay? And then maybe cast a shield.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that. Just back right up to that door, sort of facing the ghost thing. Sort of just lean up against it and see if she can hear them. Like, hey, no one's hurt, right? Did we plan a surprise thing? Did someone forget to tell me? Okay, I'm going to hang out here, but don't die. And as she's saying this, is kind of like remembering seeing Brixby do his shield the other day, and will also call hers up. And that's, I'm sure I'm not going to regret this. That's going to be my turn.
And the ghost is gonna rush after you. Just get right back in your face again, and he's just like,
Why? Why would you take me away from Justinia? Why did you do it? She needed me. Saturday!
and he doesn't attack. He's just does big sad at you. And Asher?
So now that I'm out of dynamic lighting, I can't quite see where Mr. Ghost is located. Am I now perceiving the source of fear and having to flee farther?
You could probably hear him shouting, yeah.
Okay, yeah. He will then just run back closer to his horse. He feels, safe around Fire Day. And then once he's 30 feet farther away or so, he'll just like he wants to be brave. And, that's the unfortunate dice roll nature of the game of like but I'm a hero, but also I'm a Ferd. He's just biding his time for the opportune moment, which mechanically could be next turn. And yeah, that's it for Mad Ups.
All right, and Brixby.
As if linked by some sort of arcane kismet, Brixby will also do the similar circular motion and cast shield on himself because he's too scared to go back inside, but not too scared to protect himself. And that's my turn.
And Vargas.
Vargas, similar to Asher, is going to go basically a normal turn's worth of movement, and then he starts to go, wait, and starts heading back and ends up back in the square that he left off in.
And Kira.
Okay, no one has come back, but no one has said, hey, I'm dying. And this thing in front of her is real sad, which she's feeling compelled to do something about. Making a roll is like just a thing you can do, right? It's not a standard or anything.
Right.
Knowledge religion, pretty sure that's a... Oh, I don't have knowledge religion. I'm not even going to roll. JK. She has no idea what's going on here, but she can recognize this thing is upset. Would she know, is it common knowledge that the statue guy is the person whose name you keep saying?
I think...
And the person whose name he keeps saying.
Yeah, I think Sarenrae is a common enough goddess that, yeah, Kira would know.
Okay, so she's going to walk toward the statue. Sorry, no, you guys will be fine. So she moves toward the statue and then sort of stands to the side and, like, looks back at the ghost and is like, you're talking to that thing? I don't know if I can help you, but, I'm sorry you lost someone. If you can hear me, maybe we can help find her. And that feels like 6 seconds of talking.
And he floats up to the doors, and he just stops there. And he's just floating in the air in the doorway. Like that's as far as he can go. And Asher, you are up, and you are no longer scared.
Perfect. Asher then will bravely, now that he's kind of been a gentleman, ladies first sort of situation, he will return and kind of just move into, back into the front of the chapel next to the statue, since he wants to try and talk to the ghost, but had to use more than one moves to be able to get in there. Have to wait another turn to try and diplomacy. So that's it. Just a big old brave double move.
Yeah, sure.
And Brixby.
Brixby will draw the magic missile wand and then move to the, open door. And just be there. Because he's not as brave as Asher.
So you're saying maybe Brixby's still mechanically shaken?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. Brixby -2.
Yeah, I'll take it. He's not nearly as brave as Asher. Are you kidding me?
And Vargas.
Okay, Vargas says, okay, let's try this again. And he is... I'm just going to do that so I can see this room. I think he gets here and he sees that, Kira and the ghost are just kind of staring at each other. So he's going to wait and see what happens. Because I do not have a good diplomacy. So I'm not going to attempt to aid anything. He's just going to not make it worse.
Alright, back to Kira.
Gonna try and calm him down again. She's seen Asher do enough diplomatic stuff. She can pick up on that. So we'll move back up to the door again, kind of thinking well, I'm not afraid of the ghosts, and I can just stand up here and be nice to my friends, but also not blocking Brixby just in case we need to shoot something. Okay, wait. Is there an action I can take to help Asher's role in the future? And be like, hey, Asher, you're so diplomatic.
Yeah, you could do aid another with diplomacy.
Cool, I'll do that. Do I need to roll for that? Or yeah, because it has to be a 10. That is a 10. Exactly. Which I think makes it a 12 or something. So, yeah, so Kira will move up, look back at Asher and be like, hey, are you okay? And then before he can answer, sometimes you're better at talking to people than me, so you go do that. Yay. And that's my turn.
And the ghost is just floating there in the doorway, staring at all of you like there's an invisible wall between you and him, and he doesn't do anything at all. And Asher is up.
Asher will just take a 5-foot step up next to Jarrell and Izzy. Asher will, because he's heard the screams, that's what drove him to fear. He'll call out to the ghost and say, "Noble Crusader, I know not what has transpired here, nor the fate of your Justinia. Please, we can discuss this, and perhaps we may yet be able to assist you. If you could calm down and we can talk, you and I. I'm also a paladin, so maybe a circumstance bonus." Going to mint chocolate crit. 4 in the dice for 14. He reaches out his ectoplasmic hand to strangle Asher, and he dies.
Cool. Tight.
The pile of dice here that I've just rolled garbage and been set aside, I'm at 10 now.
Wow.
10 d20s that have failed over the last session and this session. So yeah, that's looking good. It's looking good. Yeah, he'll stand there feeling like maybe next turn, Steve Rogers, I can do this all day, etc. Oh no, including the aid, that was a 16. So
that makes all the difference in the world.
He was gonna strangle Asher, and then was like, yes, cool. So Justinia was a fine, foxy lady.
All right, Brixby.
Brix is going to take one shaking step into the room, holding the wand of magic missile, but not like out, just kind of clutched to his chest in a sort of wimpy way. That's all he's doing. That's it.
And Vargas.
Not a brave man.
Well, I have a -2, so I'm not going to attempt any kind of diplomacy. Can't make another religion check, so that's not going to work. There's honestly really nothing he could do at this point other than attack the ghost, and I don't think we want to do that, so he is just gonna, I guess he's gonna look between Asher and Kira and say, "In either of you, have you figured out what it wants yet, what it's doing?"
Still a work in progress, but I feel like we're getting there. Building rapport takes time, but feel free to explore the rest of the keep while Kira and I perhaps sit down with this ghostly fellow, and
that's way past free action.
Yeah, that's more than 6 seconds of talk, but yeah, that's all he does is he basically just asks Asher if he has any idea what's going on, because he's out of his element here.
And that takes us to Kira.
Okay. Kira doesn't want to leave this crying person, but also super limited in what she can do. Gonna make another diplomacy check. What? I wonder if I go back inside, what happens? All right, I'm trying it. I'm doing it. This could be terrible, but maybe not could be it terrible. So I think she's gonna try. She looks over at Asher, who's also had no luck, and is like, okay, hang on. She's going to move in past the door. Am I AO'd?
Nope, not AO'd.
Great. Okay, so I'm gonna stand next to it, still within eyesight of her friends, and offered a sticker. She'll say you can choose. You can have second tallest if you want. And let's call that a diplomacy roll, so it's not just a flavor sticker. I think I should have a roll for stick. No, that's a 6. So this guy hates stickers.
Only you'd splurge on the ghost touch stickers.
Just tries to put it on them and just passes through.
I mean, up until this moment, it didn't even really seem like he could hear you when you were talking to him. And like he seemed to be sort of aware that there were other beings in the room, and like he was kind of trying to communicate with you, but like he didn't visibly react to any of your words until Asher said the word paladin. And then he turned his head and he looked right at Asher, and it seemed to process his presence there and seemed to assess him. And then he steps up and he reaches a hand across the threshold. And I'm gonna use the big wooden die for this one. That's a 9 versus touch, so I assume that doesn't do it.
No, I mean, I don't know why you need to roll just to shake my hand. It feels excessive. But no, that doesn't connect.
All right. Well, the ghost has just whiffed on trying to do something, and Asher, that's this cold, shadowy, translucent presence. Just try to do something to you.
Asher is going to stand up straight and just look this ghostly figure in the eye and say, "Compose yourself, Paladin of Sarenrae. We can talk this through. There's no need for hostile actions." And a little more assertive, but still going with the diplomacy, not trying to intimidate a ghost. That just seems foolish. Going for the Norse Foundry Sandstorm D20. Oh, one better. A 5 on the die. For a 15, which is actually one worse than the aided roll last turn. But I feel like we're bonding now. So this is good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's his whole turn.
All right. And how about Brixby?
Brixby is going to ready, and if the ghost does something very evidently aggressive and not ambiguously aggressive, he will fire off a magic missile at it.
All right. And Vargas?
Just saw something in the chat that made me think I have a +2 to intimidate. Wonder if that would be any better than, since it seems clear we're not having much luck with... Oh, actually, it might be better to save it for an aid for Kira if she intimidates, because I think she has even higher. So right now, he's just going to angrily glare at the ghost on the other side of this doorway.
Did you roll to aid?
Oh, is she rolling? Okay. I was going to aid her when she said she was rolling. Yeah, I aid. Sorry.
And Kira?
Let's see. Okay, yeah, so mechanically speaking, or I guess narratively speaking, Kira's trying to talk to this ghost. She offers a sticker. It doesn't seem to work, but she does see it, notice Asher, and reach out toward him. I don't know if she's able to interpret that as a hostile move, but it is enough to kind of get her to be like, "Hey, focus up, buddy." Which I think she will actually say something like, "I know you're upset and scared and confused, and we want to help, but we can't do that if you hurt us. If you try to hurt my friends again, I think I'm going to have to be less friendly, and that's not going to be fun for anybody." Roll to intimidate?
So menacing.
You know what, this was so menacing. You can really feel the +10 in that one. Ooh, that's a 17 +10, so 27 to intimidate?
Plus another 2.
Plus another 2. Is it scary? Do I scare the ghost? Oh, I want to scare a ghost.
Well, so that's a total of a 29.
29. That's so scary. Come on.
That is super, super scary, and you roleplayed it so scary. The problem is that ghosts are immune to...
Ugh, those jerks.
Yeah, mind-affecting effects, which intimidate is technically, I believe, a mind-affecting fear effect.
Would you like me to intimidate him physically?
You gonna shove him?
Just yeah. Hey, you. And then pushes him against a wall.
So, since Asher had the decency to not move out of the way, he's gonna reach out again, and this time it's a 16 versus touch.
Yeah, that beats the old 14 touch AC. I'm excited. What's he gonna do? Is this a touch of good, touch of law? What's his paladin ability?
You might want to make a fortitude save.
No.
Oh, not a fort save.
I mean, how firm is this handshake? The natural 1 for a dirty 10.
Okay.
Oh, Sam's face is the worst face. Sorry, Sam.
Wow.
I went for 40 plus episodes. I don't know that I'd failed a save, period. And I failed 2 tonight, so.
This was a big one. So Asher is racked with immense pain as his body is surrounded by corrupted energies that seek to tear him to pieces from the inside out. Yeah, so that is going to be a total of 25 damage from the corrupting touch of this ghost. And I think that'll trigger Brixby's attack.
Only half the attack.
Wow. Well, looking good for me on the Roll20 front. That's 2 4s on both of my 4s, so that's max damage. 10 damage from 2 magic missiles.
Nice.
Shoot out of 1.
Nice, so those do hit the ghost. And they seem to do damage. And Asher, who just took a really bad hit, is up.
Asher is at exactly 0.
Ooh.
But still vertical. And will swift action expend a lay on hands on himself as he is racked with this pain and he'd screamed out in agony. He does look at, have the sense to look up at Kira through the doorway and say,
I don't know if the spirit can leave this place. It may be too powerful for us.
4 points of healing, and now that he is not at 0, should be able to move back, presumably out of the reach of this thing. And he will take a 5-foot... Well, no, he's going to move back out, and from the outside just call to this ghost and say,
You claim that Serenray did this to you. She'd be ashamed to see what you've become.
not rolling anything.
Just being mean.
No, he's just a paladin. Ghost, but like a mean paladin ghost just nearly killed him.
It reached through the door, right?
Yeah, it reached across the threshold.
Okay.
All right, and Brixby is up.
I think Brixby is going to, just kind of shuddering, send off another couple of magic missile shards here. Oh, not nearly as nice. That's only 5 damage this time.
All right, and still hits him and seems to do damage.
Mark these off here, and that is my turn.
And Vargas.
All right. Vargas, swift action, is going to use another point of arcane pool to empower his arm. He is going to take a 5-foot step to be up in the doorway. And he is going to roll. I just have to get a 15 to cast Arcane Mark. There's a 19 on the die with a +7, so that definitely made that. That's what I just saw. The other player's going, oh god, what are you doing? But I'm figuring if I can distract it with a weapon that might actually hurt it, Kira can escape, and then we can all run away. So he is going to cast Arcane Mark, and thanks to his ability, he can make instead of the normal touch with that, he gets to make a punch attack. So that will be probably not a hit. Is that a 6? No, that's a 9. So that actually might hit. So that is +7, but then -2. So that is a 14 against regular AC.
14 will not hit.
Okay. And then he will make his regular attack. Also take the -2. That is a 15 on the die. Plus size, that is a 20.
20 will hit.
7 points of damage, and it is magical. So does it look like any of that went through?
Yeah, but not all of it.
Okay.
I mean, he's incorporeal, so mechanically speaking, it does half. And Kira is up.
Oh, and free action as he's doing this, he'll say, Kira, get out of there.
But what if... okay, fine. And Kira will reluctantly heed the word of her friend. Because, yeah, this looks not great. So I'm just going to shimmy out past here, and it may or may not AOO. I think we decided it... Well, it hasn't done that yet. I don't know if it can't.
It hadn't done it before, but
now it's mad.
yeah, it's pretty mad.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to move my full over here next to... No, not... next to Brixby, not in the way of Asher. And probably not as far as she should be going. But she has moved past it, so attack away.
I got a nat 20 on the attack of opportunity.
All right.
So the confirm roll is only a 12 versus touch.
Okay. No, touch is 15?
Okay. So, fortitude save.
Hey, don't fail this.
Yeah, well, we'll see. This is fear? Is this fear? Is this fear?
No, this is not fear.
Got it. Okay, 12?
12's not very good.
Oh, no.
So you're going to take all of this.
Oh, no.
This is not looking great.
Okay, plus mine. Oh my god, I'm not raging. Oh no. I have to
isn't
remember to do
fine.
that. Okay, this is fine.
Actually, exact same damage, 25, once more as Kira explodes in pain as her body seems to be tearing itself apart from the inside. So these corrupting energies just do massive, massive damage.
Well, hey, it's still my turn, right? Yeah, because I was an AOO. Alright, so I'm going to rage now. Kira sees this thing attack Asher and immediately goes from like, hey, this is cool, to I told you to be nice and you're not being nice. Probably starts to move to attack it, but before she can, Vargas is like, run, so she's like, okay, I think that's a bad idea, fine. Refuses to run all the way, but does get out past it, and in this, it like grabs her, she screams once, and is fully panicked for a minute, and then kind of this like otherworldly sort of, she's like just a, what's that, like a trance comes over her, as she goes into a rage, and without, like, before even reaching for her sword, just like puts out a hand and fires exactly one magic missile. That is pink. Okay, that's like 3 points of damage, which is underwhelming, but hey, we got a hit in. Oh, I also should mark all the HP. That's gonna be rough.
The best part is magic missile does full damage against ghosts. So
Haha, dumb ghosts. Okay, so that's her turn. She does not look great, but magic missile. Yay.
Nice. And now the ghost is gonna reach out to touch Vargas. That's a 24.
Against touch?
Against touch, yes.
Yeah, believe it or not, that's a hit.
Why don't you roll that fortitude save?
It's a good thing we're not playing 2E.
Please pass this.
Okay, that is a natural 19. So
Nice.
with a +7, that is a 26 fortitude.
Okay, so half damage for Vargas.
Wow.
So half of 22, 11 damage for Vargas. As, you know, he explodes in pain, but he's used to it. That's kind of his thing.
That 24 earlier then was average, not max, huh?
Oh, jeez.
All right, so we're back up to Asher.
Asher is, for the first time, going to draw the +1 Inferno pistol that they took from Mayanda. But since he's still not sure yet whether the creature can leave the building, he is going to just take another 5-foot step kind of to the northeast here, and ready, well, I guess just to the north. And ready to shoot if the creature can pass through the doorway and starts to leave on his next turn, because he'll go before Asher. So if it looks like he's going to walk out and try and keep chasing us to murder, then he's going to fire.
All right, and Brixby.
Brixby's going to do the opposite. He's going to let loose one more salvo of magic missiles before stepping out the door to go join Asher. So, 2 and a 1. Oh, +2 on there. So that's another 5 damage to the ghost. And Brixby will step out just a little bit to the southeast of Asher, kind of on the other side of the door. While he's leaving, he'll shout, "Good time for a retreat, yeah?" And that's my turn.
And that takes us to Vargas.
Vargas is going to full withdrawal just to this doorway. He is not going to walk all the way out because he's going to see whether this thing follows us or not. And that will be his turn.
All right, and Kira.
Yeah. Kira is still in a rage that you just get the sense maybe if she wasn't raging, she'd be screaming in pain or just crying. But she is. So I think hearing Rixby say like, "Hey, what's about?" She says nothing, just kind of moves in that direction. Also, I can't see where Asher is. I don't want to stand in front of you, so we'll move over here next to Brixby, and that's my turn.
All right. And it comes to the ghost's turn, and he stands impotently in the doorway, staring at Vargas as the only one he can see. But he makes no further move to come any closer. As the ghost stares Vargas down from just about 15 feet away, maybe even reaching slightly across the corridor like he could just grab him. I'm going to bed.
Okay. All right. Cool. Nice.
God.
So cool.
So
Yeah, super cool.
It was not cool.
Hard against the machine. Against the machine.
Hot Against the Machine is property of its creators, all rights reserved. Pathfinder and the Iron Gods Adventure Path are properties of Paizo Publishing. Please visit them at paizo.com for more information. Theme Against the Machine, written and performed by our own Zach. Please consult the show notes for additional music and sound effect licensing information.
Hands.
Okay. I feel like I panicked and missed that one, but Jeff hates second claps.
as long as there's a noise, it'll work.
Ugh,
Yeah, as
don't
long as
join
there's a
that
noise.
team.
Yeah, don't join Team Logic.
We hate that team.
It's all about team feelings.
You're joking, but I love a team feel. I will think of another way to phrase that.
No.
It's fine.
That's on the recording.
Yep, that's going straight into the up right there.
It might even be the
'cause
title.
My microphone, it clipped all over that one, so we gotta cut that
Craig
out.
got it.
No, it's fine.
We'll keep Craig's in. Don't worry. It's way less tired on the West Coast. It's less tired. That's what it is. The coast is less tired over here, where words thrive, and I'm alive.
Well, at least the West Coast isn't physically transported into the game. I mean, Izzy and Jiro are facing down an actual ghost now somehow.
It's so bizarre. And they're on the East Coast. Anywho,